Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahshai, Ba'Shem Rakol Kodash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect, where the house of David reborn again in this generation. And Shalom to the 130 Yasharallah, who today are known as the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who before losing our true heritage, we were known as, and still are, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. In today's lesson, we're going to do a lot of just watching. I have a video that you need to see, right? And we're going to talk about the next phase of action which Esau is obviously taking. But let's read this first, and then we'll get into the discussion. This is Proverbs 26 and 25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart.
Well, there has been another mass murder, as you know, at a school in Texas, where the uniquely American phenomenon of mass murder at schools, complete with television coverage, like the television coverage you're seeing tonight, began. All of that began in Texas in 1966, when Charles Whitman, a name that became one of the most famous names of the 1960s, went to the top of the Texas Tower, the University of Texas in Austin. Before going to the tower, like many of the mass murderers who followed in his footsteps, Charles Whitman shot and killed his wife, shot and killed his mother.
It's always so hard to find out the motive here, Lester.
By one count, the U.S. has topped 300 school shootings since 2009, 57 times as many as all of the other major industrialized nations combined.
In 2020, the most recent CDC data shows that there were more than 19,000 gun-related homicides. Do the math, that's an average of 53 a day. There have been 213 mass shootings so far this year alone. It's only May.
So doing the math on that, there's a mass shooting in this country about 1.5 a day.
When are we going to do something?
Golden State Warriors coach Steve Kerr last night channeling the outrage of a nation.
I'm tired. I'm so tired of getting up here and offering condolences to the devastated families that are...
By the way, that's some horrible fucking acting right there, man. Look at that. Rubbing his face, and this guy is a fucking idiot, man.
Out there, I think back to Columbine. I was just a teenager then, but it all felt so unbelievable. How tragic is it that this now feels so common?
At some point, a fight even broke out between some people at the scene, and police had to step in. Then there's the window at the McDonald's where the shooting happened. Again, as I mentioned, it is shattered. Just a really busy and active scene. According to Chicago police, this shooting happened just after 10:40 last night. Again, 10 people were shot.
Online, there are lots of opinions from both sides of the gun control debate about money, politics, and freedom. But journalist Philip DeFranco also wrapped up one of the other common themes, helplessness. He tweeted, "The uniquely American feeling, seeing news about a mass shooting of kids and knowing literally nothing is going to change to stop it from happening again, is the one I hate the most."
You really believe like he was sitting there reading a law book beforehand? And I know what you're going to say. Well, maybe we should make it more difficult to do that. But the problem with that is it's a simple-minded solution, because you also make it more difficult for the tens and thousands and hundreds of thousands of others of 18-year-olds out there who've done absolutely nothing wrong and would like to buy a rifle to go hunting.
So what? So what? So what?
We live in a free country.
So what? You're 18 years old. Can you buy a beer? Answer no. Why can't you buy a beer? Because society in its infinite wisdom has determined that you're not answering my point. An 18-year-old to buy a beer.
Question remains.
How can you be too young to buy a beer? Why
do you believe people that have no conscience, no heart, and no soul, parents lost their kids today? Why do you believe
Make it hard
hang
for
on
them, Sean.
why do you believe in any way that those people that are capable of that evil are going to obey your laws? Because I think you're living in a fantasy world.
Maybe I am. But the NRA convention is in Houston on Friday. You have President Trump, you have Governor Abbott, you have Senator Cruz all scheduled to speak. don't you think that they should try to suggest some remedy, be proactive? But what are they going to do? What are they going to say other than Second Amendment? Second Amendment. The way the Second Amendment is construed now makes me sick. How did muskets become AKs? How'd that happen?
Let me go back to Dan. Hold on. All right, I know, Geraldo, you've dominated this whole conversation. I'll let anyone else talk here, Geraldo.
Here's the point, by the way. Pay attention.
For the last 30 years of your life, you've been a very wealthy, successful guy. Nobody disputes that. You can go out tomorrow and buy security if you wanted to. The Second Amendment makes you sick. Why? So the criminals don't care about your gun laws. They love them because it keeps law-abiding people unarmed while they don't give a damn about your laws. I did this for a living. They laugh at gun laws, and they love people like you advocating for gun laws because you can buy arm protection, and they can go in high crime communities and prey on innocent people who can never get a hold of a gun because they actually obey the law.
Greg Schaefer, FBI veteran of 20 years, an expert on active shooter situations. Thanks for joining us. Absolutely horrific scenes this morning. How has this happened again?
If I had the answer to that, I'd solve all the world's problems. We have to get better at a couple things. First of all, and foremost, we need to put armed police officers in every school in America. No questions asked. Every school in America needs to have an armed response, an armed police officer.
Listen up.
If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good and what's good is square. And the old I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door.
There's Ecclesiasticus 12 and 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked with therewith. So, as we just seen, Esau is moving on to his next phase of his agenda, right? For all you out there who watched this video we just played and don't understand what's going on, let me elaborate for you, right? When you get past all the fake tears, the out of spot, the out of, how can I put it, the out of place sentiments and concern, people like an Arthur who has, what the hell does an author have to do with the current events going on with mass shootings? Or what the heck does a a basketball coach have to do with the current events of a mass shooting, right? Well, people watch them, so they're beacons for opinions, right? That's what they have to do. So, like I said, when you get past all that bad acting, those fake tears, and that humble nature of Esau trying to pretend like he cares, like he wants to stop and save the kids, even though he's out there freaking mass poisoning, you understand what's going on. Esau is coming for the sticks. He wants to take away those American sticks. And why is that? Well, when you look at everything else going on, the preparations that are being made, the legislature that was just signed by President Biden to hand over the medical sovereignty of America to the WHO and the UN, that now gives an avenue for UN troops to come into America and basically start policing it, and hence fulfilling all the visions that brothers and others who have had, where there's going to be UN troops here basically enforcing mandates and whatnot, right? But the point being is, this is it, Akim. We are there, as all the other brothers have been saying this last week. Right? We're getting to the point where Esau is now going to put boots on the ground, I guess you could say, right? But again, before he puts the boots on the ground, he has to take those sticks. Okay. Now, first and foremost, a stick is not going to save you. Okay. The Lord, if He wants to take you, you could have a whole mansion full of sticks. All right. You could have the ammo that you need to not run out for a whole, war. But again, if the Lord is not with you, it doesn't matter how many sticks you got. It doesn't matter how much ammo you stocked up. It doesn't matter how good you are at target practice, right? Or how good of a sharpshooter you are. You're not going to save yourself, right? The Lord's gonna have your ass slip on a banana peel and fucking break your neck, right? But the point being is that the Lord has to be with you, right? That being said, the Lord is also with those who do prepare themselves, right? The brothers who have sticks, right? We all know Sakari has those sticks, right? And but the thing is there's many other brothers who are out there who have sticks, right? And it's just because it's good preparation if that's your thing, right? But the thing is the fact of the matter is, the only reason why you have not seen the events taking place in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, China, where Esau has come down on the people, dragging them out of their houses, basically bullying them on subway transits, right? Abducting kids, basically taking advantage of the population, is because those countries do not have sticks of their own, right? They are at the full mercy of their leadership, right? Which their leadership has obviously turned, and they're now going in a new direction, which is not for the will of the people, right? Not for the people's good. Okay. Now, the time has come where America now has to start filling or going through the same thing that we've been seeing in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and all that stuff, right? That's gonna come here now. But again, you're gonna see, right? Because it was so convenient that all this took place in the same state where they're about to have a huge NRA conference, right? National Rifle Association, which, by the way, man, even though the NRA is made to be like some sort of like big old pro-gun, bastion of policies and stronghold, it for the last few years, if you've been paying attention, it's also been losing its power. The people that the NRA has gotten to lead itself, its CEOs and everything, they've all been very anti. They've had a fairly lighter or anti-Second Amendment stance, right? And this is another thing too. These devils like to frame the narrative that these sticks are used for hunting. No, they're not. Right? The sticks that America right now is feverishly buying, by the way, just so that way you know, the stick sales have I think like tripled in the last few months. And why is that? Because everybody is seeing the writing on the wall. Well, at least those who are aware of the stick policies that are being pushed, right? But now with what's going on in the video I just showed you, I think it's very clear that ESAU is coming for those sticks. Okay. Now that being said, like I just mentioned, it's been very convenient that all this took place, right? The kindergarten mass shooting and all these other shootings took place right before the big NRA convention is about to take place, right? And well, why is that? Well, because it's going to be a point of conversation for these next few weeks, months, and ultimately it's going to be a voting point for the next elections that are going to be coming up, right? Right? It's no coincidence that on the same day that the mass shooting that took place at that kindergarten place, that Kamala Harris and Biden had a speaking event that night regarding the events of the mass shooting, right? Just to give you an idea, right? If a president wants to address a nation, that's not something that could be done willy-nilly, okay? The amount of logistics, organization, and planning that needs to go into that event are large, are huge, right? Setting up the speakers, the room, getting the TV network stations to cover it, the speech writers to write something down, right? And in this case, to get the training and coaching of Biden so he doesn't fumble on stage and start talking gibberish, right? All these things have to be aligned. So again, for that just to happen spontaneously, it is a clear sign that these devils have orchestrated that speaking event, okay? So when you got there, Kamala Harris talking about the parents of these murdered children have a room full of leaders ready to take action, right? And you have all these media heads talking about, and not only media heads, but coaches and people of influence saying that something needs to be done. It's because they're coming for the sticks, okay? Now, why should this be an issue with us Israelites, right? Because again, the majority of us don't have sticks, right? Nor do we depend on it for salvation. Well, because like I said again, this is ESAU moving forward with his agenda. He is now on to the next phase, where instead of preparation and policy, now he is literally going to start taking action to disarm the populace, because he is going to bring in those boots on the ground, right? He's going to bring in that enforcement, which is going to bring in Jacob's trouble, okay? This is it, Akim. This is where we're at right now. This is what I want to read. This is Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. The spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai shall lift up a standard against him. So you see, these devils will come in like a flood, right? Jacob's trouble will take place, right? Don't believe these false groups that they're telling you telling you that there's going to be no Jacob's trouble. I know IUIC has now been backpedaling, trying to say that they never said that there was never going to be Jacob's trouble, but they did. There's a video. There's a video of Nate lying his ass off, man. Right? And the thing is that being said, man, regardless if you have a stick or not, you need to prepare yourself. First and foremost, you got to spiritually prepare yourself and turn to the Lord. Right? What does it say? Let's get this real quick. This is Isaiah 55:6. Seek ye Yahweh Bashem Yashai while he may be found. Call ye upon him while he is near. Now that you can see these videos on YouTube, when you could go out and listen to the brothers preach out on the streets, that is the Lord being near. Okay? Right now, a door of repentance, of mercy, has been opened up to you, us Israelites. Okay? For those who are aware of what's going on and look to your goings to make sure that you're safe, you've taken advantage of this. You've gone ahead and turned your life around, and you're now seeking to please the Lord because you understand that what's coming is going to be something very wicked and very crazy, right? Now, for all those out there who have just stumbled upon this video, haven't taken this too serious, hey, you're going to need as much spiritual protection as you can get to get past all these events, man. Now, when you get past the spiritual preparation, let's say you have done all in your power to please the Lord, right? You're out there teaching, you're out there learning, you're out there following these videos, right? You're calling upon the right name, you're doing the best you can to keep the laws and commandments, to observe the high holy days. Well, good for you. Next, you got to do the physical preparations, okay? Now, you don't have to do these, right? But this is what I'm doing myself. This is what I feel will also help. This is what the Lord has put on my spirit to do. Now, biggest thing is you could go ahead and remove yourself from the majority of the events going on, which will eventually blow up. All right, let me see if I can find it.
Shoot that mother.
This is why you want to move out of any location that is not going to be conducive to your survival, okay? If you have the opportunity to remove yourself from large metropolitan areas, large cities, large places where there's just tons of people, then you should. Go move with some brothers to a more rural area, okay? A lot of the brothers, when I was at Great Millstone, they had houses outside of the major cities, right? A lot of brothers didn't live inside the LA downtown area. Some brothers did, but a lot of brothers lived in the outskirts, okay? Me, myself, I live a few hours away from Los Angeles, right? I live in what you would refer to as the country area, okay? And I did that purposely, right? Now, like I said, try to find a place that will best suit your needs. And this is a place where you're not going to have a lot of foot traffic, right? Not a lot of people in there, because what we just seen, that video, is a video of East LA, right there off the 710 and 10 freeway. Just showing you, man. When people lose everything, they lose it, like Gerald Salente said, okay? So we're going to start seeing a lot more people losing it, right? The guy who shot up that kindergarten school, his ass lost it, right? And that's not even going into the whole MK Ultra and Manchurian candidate type of, arguments, which it could have been. But the point being is that the narrative is that he lost it. Okay? And when he lost it, he went out and he did that fucking horrible act. Right? And what's going to happen in the future, like I said, is more people are going to lose it. When they lose it, you don't want to be around them. You don't want to be like those jakes you've seen in those videos by the McDonald's where they were, in the area and then everything kind of fucking broke out. You don't want to be like those bystanders who were by that bus stop while there was a shootout with cops, man. Okay? This is why you need to seek the Lord. This is why you need to prepare as best you can, right? So now, with, getting a place that is more safe for you to be at, right? Next, what you got to do is, do you have enough food? Do you have enough preparations to survive, to stay, let's say, at least a month, ideally 3 months, and best 6 months, without having to go to the store, without having to go buy something to cook a meal, right? Can you make a meal without having to go to the store, right? Do you have that fresh water? Can you make fresh water, right? If the only water you have is the water in your water heater or the water at a river down the street from your house, can you make that into clean water? If not, you better go buy a hiking water filter, right? Because a hiking water filter, they're really small, compact water filters. Okay. Do you have and then do you have enough food? Do you have grain, or do you only have a bag of Cheetos and some fucking soda in your refrigerator, right? So you got to prepare. You got to get bags of rice. You got to get bags of beans. You got to get things like Apostle Tahar says, man. Get a little bit of something on the side so that way you don't have to go out and be amongst all these people who are going to be losing their shit because they don't have enough toilet paper, or they're running out of baby formula, right? You need to have a little bit extra so that way you don't involve yourself in these situations that we are coming up against. Okay, that's my whole point of this video, is that Esau is moving forward with his agenda. So should we, right? We got to keep following the Lord, keep doing His will, but also at the same time prepare so that way we are in a better place than the majority of these people in the world right now that are not even paying attention, who are asleep and are relying on Egypt for their salvation. Okay, we need to be spiritually minded. We got to be kingdom minded. Okay, Akim, we got to make it to the end. And how do we make it to the end? Again, first and foremost, we follow the Lord, His commandments, and you do right by the Lord. Next, you make sure that you're in a good place, right? You have what you need to be self-sufficient. Okay, get yourself a good shelter. Get yourself some preparation for food, some water, right? If you can't store your water, go buy yourself water filters, right? Hiking filtration systems are small, cheap, and very usable. Okay, and that's and there's so many other things, but again, I don't want to make this video into a survival video, but you get the point, Akim. We're there. Okay, so hopefully this video was edifying. So until the next time, I want to give all honor and glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Ruach Kodash. Double honors my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the elect.